Welcome, viewers. Welcome to the new edition of Caps Hockey Review, the new and improved edition of Caps Hockey Review, I should say. Well, for those of you who read my blog when I was writing it, I thank you and I appreciate you reading. However, I decided that moving to a video format would be much more effective as well as possibly time friendly. With that in mind, this will be the new platform moving forward. I will continue doing everything I previously did in the blog, post-game reviews, some previews, some reactions to, free agent signings, trades, all those good things. So I hope you will continue viewing. I hope to gain more viewers by using this format as opposed to writing. So with that in mind, off we go. And off we go. Caps Hockey Review version 2.0. Honestly, I was convinced the Capitals were not going to win this game. I was convinced they've been great lately, but they're coming up against a team who has been awful. With this Caps team, with their history, this is probably the best prototype game you could pick for them to lose. An overlooked opponent, still on the road. These are games the Capitals historically lose. And it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. So it was really nice to see. We'll start off with some pregame notes. The Capitals were in Buffalo to face the Sabres on Monday night. Lars Eller is out with an injury. It comes after getting back into the lineup for not even a full game after he was injured versus the Flyers on Saturday. He had previously missed a couple games due to a family emergency at home. With that in mind, the Caps would choose to run with 11 forwards and 7D as they had previously when they missed Eller. In this case, however, Trevor Van Riemsdyk slots in over Jonas Siegenthaler, and we'd see him play a little bit bigger role as well as this game went along. Tom Wilson's still out, of course, serving the fifth of his seventh game suspension, so two more left for Tommy. Be good to see him back in the lineup here shortly, hopefully Saturday. Anyway, the Caps, 8-1-1 in the previous 10 coming into this thing. Playing really well, finding ways to win games. It's not always pretty, but they're finding ways to win games. That's a good thing. The Sabres on the other end of the spectrum. Ice cold coming into this thing, 10-game losing streak, outscored 41-17 in the process. They have found just about every which way to lose games. They've lost games bad. They've lost games they probably should have won. Either way, it's a rough situation in Buffalo. Hopefully Jack Eichel finds his way out of there sooner or later. It's a shame to see that guy stuck in Buffalo with the way things are going. Anyway, though, this ain't about the Sabres. We're talking about the Capitals. The goalie situation for the Capitals, we see Vitek Vanacek get the start in this one. With the Caps playing back-to-back, they got the Islanders at home tomorrow night. Begs the question, are they saving Samsonov for the Islanders? Stronger team, you're on the second half of a back-to-back. The league trend the last few years on this has been play your number two or your 1B the first night and save your number one or 1A in this case for the second night. Not sure yet. I think Laviolette's just trying to go 50-50 as much as he can. I'm sure he's hoping Samsonov jumps up and grabs the starting job. I I kind of hope he is. He's the number one draft pick. But whoever wins games, that's good for me. All right. So pretty good performance from the Capitals, I would say. 30 shots, out shooting the Sabres by 7. Face-off percentage. How many times, for anybody who read the blog, did I complain about the Caps not being able to win face-offs last year? It was horrendous. Like winning 50% was a big night for them, and tonight they were clicking at 55.8%. Nick Dowd shined. He won over 75% of his faceoffs. He's very quickly becoming the ace for this team in the faceoff circle. I think the addition of Michael Pekka in that player development role has certainly helped. The uptick has been really in the time since he's been hired, so that's really great to see. Power plays, not really much to speak of in this game. The Caps went 0 for 2, the Sabres went 0 for 1. Caps had a couple good looks on the power play. Oshie had a one-timer right in front of the net. Hutton just made a great save on him. And this sustained pressure really was something we saw all night. This wasn't just a power play event for the Capitals. They just continued to get chances, chance after chance after chance against Carter Hutton. The guy's doing everything he can in the net. I mean, he faced a lot of great chances, made some big saves, but this is a very good offensive team in the Washington Capitals. They're going to score their goals. Most nights they are going to score their goals, and it's going to be on the other team to keep up. The biggest thing for the Capitals, and they did it really, really well tonight. I was really excited to see it. They played great defensively. They were really good at getting back on the back check, really kind of short circuiting some of those potential odd man rushes that the Sabres had. That's great. We didn't see a lot of that, that latter half of last season. We've seen flashes of it here and there this season. Hopefully, this is going to start taking hold as time goes along. Laviolette plays an aggressive system, but he also stresses defense. We see it in third periods, and we saw it again tonight. They kind of get off that aggressive mentality and they start just going into this kind of defensive shell. It's like, we don't need to score any more goals here. We just got to put up the wall and make sure it holds up. And that's maybe a little bit, it's going to be tough to do come playoff time, I think. But if you can have a big lead to sit on in the third period, if you can sit on it, sit on it. And then moving forward to the third period, I mean, the Caps played great all night. They really rested some players there in the third period. I thought it was a smart move by Laviolette. That's where we saw Trevor Van Riemsdyk play a bigger role in this game as it got later and later, trying to rest Zdeno Chara, and we saw the bottom six forwards play a lot more than the top six. So smart moves there. You got the Islanders tomorrow night. That's going to be a tough game. Make sure your big boys are rested up and good to go. Van Riemsdyk totaled just about 7 minutes on ice, so not a lot, but a lot more than Siegenthaler with that 28 seconds the other night. A lot, a lot of exciting players to talk about in this thing. First off on my list, I would say Daniel Sprong is the most exciting player I watched in this game. Had one goal, but probably could have had three or four very easily. Just didn't quite bounce his way on a lot of those chances. This guy is very exciting to watch. He's fast, he's explosive, he's got a great shot, he creates chances. I really like this guy. I hope he finally sticks in the lineup and gets a real good chance. He's been great playing on that second line with Verana and Kuznetsov. Now, Connor Sheary, another big one, kind of in and out of the lineup, same as Sprong all year. Again, he's delivering in this clutch situation. You're missing Wilson, you're missing Eller. Sheary is also stepping up 2 assists in this one, and same thing as Sprong. He creates chances, he's quick, he can shoot the puck. Very excited for these guys. Hopefully they stick in the lineup. The only issue is it's kind of unclear where they would fit. I mean, obviously Wilson and Eller are not going to be out for the rest of the season. With the bottom line, with that Dowd, Hagelin, Hathaway line playing the way they are, none of those guys are coming out. They're probably the best line for the Capitals every night on a consistent basis. Obviously, your top six really isn't going to change. I mean, we've seen Verana be in Laviolette's doghouse a few times and get benched, but I don't think he's going to sit. Verana's leading the team in goals. So this is really a situation where it's weird, where it's great to have the depth, but it'd be really great to see these guys in the lineup every night, even though I'm sure they won't be once Eller and Wilson get back in the lineup. It's a shame, it really is. These two are really good. I would really like to see more of them. If that means a possible trade, but I don't think that would happen at this point. Possibly we'll see them in a bigger role next season if they're able to be brought back. I believe Sherry's on a 2 year deal. I believe Sprong's only on a 1 year deal, however. With the expansion draft next year, though, one of these two could definitely slot in somewhere. And also, Nick Jensen uh, scored his first goal in over a year, his first goal in a Capitals uniform 2 games ago. And since then, he has been an entirely different player. And it was the same thing tonight. He is playing with so much confidence, skating the puck, shooting the puck. He just looks reinvigorated. Scoring big goals will do that for you. And I think that's what's happened to him here. 2 assists in this one, gets a ton of ice time. He's seeing time on the penalty kill, doing great, playing with Chara. Those two are great together. I love it. Jensen's riding a 3 game point streak, 4 points in that span. So really good for a defenseman. Really exciting. Hopefully he can keep it going. The Capitals, really potent offense from that defense. You got Carlson, Jensen, of course, Schultz, Chara's chipped in a few, Orlov. This is an exciting group to watch. Also, on the back end, Justin Schultz, 2 more assists in this thing. He's kind of quietly gone about his business. John Carlson really is the premier offensive defenseman. I should say, two-way defenseman. He plays PK. He plays power play, of course. He kind of quarterbacks the whole operation. But Justin Schultz still gets some power play looks, and he really is very good at moving the puck and getting the puck out of the zone. That's probably the most exciting part of his game. Also, Evgeny Kuznetsov. I thought Kuznetsov was great in this one. He's not been himself this year. I mean, he was out for the COVID quarantine, and he had some issues with that. But the last 5 games, he's heating up. He's putting up some points. Scored a goal tonight. He was all over the ice, which is nice to see. The Capitals are much better when Evgeny Kuznetsov is a noticeable player. I've said it before. There's nights he looks like the best player on the team, and there's nights he looks completely invisible. It doesn't even look like he's out there because you just don't notice him because he's not really doing much. So it was great to see Kuz get going. We'll see what next game brings. He's kind of, up and down as far as consistency goes, but we'll see. And finally, Vitek Vanacek, first NHL shutout, 23 saves. He's come close a few times. He's had a couple, late period goals, spoil shutouts for him this year. Really great for him to finally get the shutout and really putting up his case to be that 1A goalie for the Capitals. Like I said before, I think him and Samsonov are going to split just about evenly. You got two young guys in this situation with the pretty much absence of a veteran netminder. Yes, Craig Anderson's on the taxi squad, and we've seen him a time or two this season. But without Henrik Lundqvist in the fold, it's going to be between these two. And come playoff time, you're really going to need to find a number one. So Vanacek is really making a strong case right now. We'll see how Samsonov does tomorrow night. Now, since we're on the subject of milestones, Vanacek, first NHL shutout. Alex Ovechkin, 717th career goal, ties Phil Esposito for 6th all-time. This puts him one away from taking sole possession of that 6th spot, of course. He may catch Marcel Dion this year. He needs to probably step up a little bit in terms of pace if he's going to do that. But if anybody can score a lot of goals very quickly, it's Alex Ovechkin. It'll be nice to see if he can do it. We all want to see him break that record, so hopefully he gets it done.
The big question here is, what can we take away from this game? Well, the truth is, we can't really take away very much. The Capitals won convincingly, yes, that's all well and good. However, they beat the worst team in the NHL. A team that has now lost 11 straight games and has been outscored 47-17 in that stretch. You just can't call a team good and say they're on the upward trend because they beat a team that is in the absolute basement of the league. Now, Their real chance to prove themselves is going to come tomorrow night against the Islanders. The Islanders are on the same hot streak as the Capitals. They are 9-1-0 in their last 10 games. This is going to be a great test for the Caps. First off, you of course, as I just said, you have another hot team coming to DC. Second, the Islanders are a stingy defensive team. The Capitals probably aren't going to put up a 6-0 score again tomorrow night. If they do, I will be ready to crown them the best team in the league. But it's going to be a real tight game, and it's going to come down to defense and goaltending. Ilya Samsonov is going to have to be on his game, and this team is going to have a bit of a defense first mentality. They're going to have to score and get their offensive opportunities when they come, but they cannot lax in the D zone. This is going to be a playoff type game, and it's a good chance to see where this team is. They look better under Laviolette lately. They look like they're getting the system, and they look like they're getting comfortable. This is a good test to see just how true all of those statements actually are. I think it'll be a great game either way, but really hoping for a Caps win. This is going to go a long way toward establishing themselves in that, top 4 or 5 teams in the league. They've been up and down this year, and continuing this consistency is going to be the best way for them to position themselves for the playoffs. When the playoffs come, who knows? Right now, worry about the regular season. Take it one game at a time. They've looked great lately. Let's hope they can keep her going.